Hello, welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host, Jeff Cork, joined today by Matthew Miller.
Hello.
And Leonardo Vader.
Greetings.
Hi. What are we looking at here, Matt?
This is a game called Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. So-called
Very soothing.
So-called Deadfire because that is the locale that you will be exploring. In Pillars of Eternity 2, we follow our heroes as they go through a dramatic time in the game world where a god has risen up, a literal god has risen up out of the ground and is marching across this archipelago of islands on some mission that it is partially part of the story to figure out what it is that he's doing.
Is he wading through the water between the islands or jumping over?
He's doing both. He's wading through the ocean, but he's also walking across the islands, causing massive destruction wherever he goes.
How big is this guy?
He's real big. He's real big.
Oh, you're painting a vivid picture, Miller. I love it.
like half a mile high. He's like the size of a skyscraper.
The size of a skyscraper. Holy crow.
And so you're after him for various reasons, not the least of which is because the place that he rose up out of the ground was your castle that you spent all that time in the first game kind of putting together and arranging.
Yes. Okay, and at that point, wouldn't you just go like, this guy's quite large, it's just a castle, I'm alive.
He took part of your soul, Jeff.
Which part?
An important part.
Damn it.
And so you're going to have to go and get it back.
Okay.
And so off we go to live the pirate life.
Yo ho ho.
So yo ho ho. And we are exploring this pirate-filled archipelago of islands with competing cultures, lots of colonialism themes that are being explored. Yeah. There's a native culture that is maybe being trampled upon.
But can you choose to trample upon it or to not trample upon it?
You can, indeed.
What did you choose?
I did right by the natives.
Interesting.
But you have all sorts of options. So right now we're, just as a little background here, we are heading into what's basically a pirate fort.
Okay.
And we've got some options in front of us about how we infiltrate here.
What is going on with your character there? It looks like the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, so my specific character that I built is a race called Godlike that are literally kind of like the offspring of the gods.
Is he named Piccolo?
No, he's not named Piccolo, but that would have been the right choice. And he has his own... You get to select the class and the stats for your main dude, but all the other characters, what you would expect in an isometric RPG like this, you meet party members along the way who join you.
Miller, was this character imported from the first game?
No, I decided to do something fresh this time.
Really? You just grew tired of him?
That and I changed computers in between the two.
Okay.
So I've opted not for the sneaky option that when I originally played this, I played the sneaky option to infiltrate this pirate fortress.
Right.
We're just going to go and see if we can
sword swinging,
have
is that what they say?
Yeah. Now, if I was really paying close attention and I was being a good custodian for my heroes here, the way that I would be playing this is that I would pause it.
Right.
And I would look and I'd say, okay, well, here's my main character and here's the abilities that he has. He can do this stuff. And then I'd go over and I'd look at this person. Okay, well, he can have this healing ability and so on and so forth down the line. You do have complete control over each one of your party members.
Right.
However, the game does do a good job, especially on the lower difficulty settings, to let you kind of just unpause and kind of, if you're paying some level of attention to things like basic health issues, and if you're about to die, that you make sure somebody doesn't get knocked over, you can kind of do okay in a lot of these fights.
It certainly makes for a better video.
Yeah, that's right, which is why we're doing it this way rather than lots of long pause and play options. I should make the case, though, that on the higher difficulties, this is a very challenging game. I think people who like the classic isometric RPGs will enjoy how many opportunities there are to really dig into the tactical play and do things like flank your enemies and and use particular spells in combination to do, I'm going to freeze this guy and keep him from being able to attack while I go and I work on this other guy. And the meat of the game is there if you want it.
And you wanted it.
As I played through, I switched back and forth.
Really?
Yeah, which it does allow you to do. You can change the difficulty settings as you go. And I really wanted to get a picture, partially because I was reviewing the thing, of like how it played on different game modes. And it certainly goes much slower when you put it on the higher difficulties. But it is also a lot more exciting.
Yeah. It's a fairly lengthy campaign too, right?
Yeah, it's a very lengthy campaign, depending on how you approach it.
Right.
It's a game that allows for a relatively straight through the main campaign option if you just want to go along and follow the main thread. But if you're doing that, I kind of think you're playing Pillars of Eternity wrong.
Interesting.
This is a game that ultimately is really about the exploration of this chain of islands, this huge map that you're going around on your ship to discover different places. You're going on lots and lots of different side quests. You're allying yourself with one of the several different cultures and organizations, the factions that are out here in the island. So, there's the native culture that I described, but you can also ally yourself with the pirates, this very pirate fort that I'm invading. You could ally yourself with them and live the pirate life. You can join there's like a trading company that's trying to have power in the region, and so you can join up with them. There's all these different groups, and they all have different different goals in the area, and you can try to help all of them, or you can focus on just one of them. There's also entire side quests that don't have anything to do with the factions, that there's just interesting things out there in the game world that you're doing. There's bounties you can chase on the pirates that are out there in the seas. There's islands where there's basically like vampires that are attacking passing ships, and you got to go deal with that situation. All sorts of kind of interesting narratives to follow, and as has increasingly been the case in a lot of these deep role-playing games, you discover that the side missions aren't what they're not. It's a bad word for them compared to what they used to be, right? Older role-playing games had these very simple, unsophisticated side missions or loyalty missions for your party members. In a game like this, they're much deeper and much more narratively rooted, and have a whole breadth of gameplay available to them. And so if you're skipping on engaging with that stuff, you're kind of just missing out on a lot of the game.
So the word side missions doesn't do them justice, you're saying?
That's how I feel about it.
Let's just call them missions.
Yep.
And get it over with.
Missions
Question
too.
for you. Can you build and upgrade your own ship?
You can indeed. In fact, I would recommend that after having explored this pirate fort here for a little bit, perhaps we jump ahead and I show you a little bit of the ocean gameplay.
Oh my lord, I would love to see that. One more thing though, if you do align yourself with the pirates, does it give you some special nautical bonuses?
I don't know that there's nautical bonuses, but there are distinct things you get from each of the different factions that you join up with, right? You get the colors, like if I joined with the pirates, I would have their colors on my ship, and thereby not have to worry about the pirates attacking me. Alternately, I could attack the pirate ship and take their colors and be all tricky about it, right? So there's a lot of interesting options there.
You get an eye patch?
I don't know. I did not encounter any eye patches. I did encounter lots of silly hats.
There's got to be an eye patch.
There's got to be an eye patch, and I just didn't run into it.
Yeah.
But what do you say? Should we go look at a little bit of ocean action?
I would love to see that.
Okay, let's do it. So can we cut there, Leo, and jump ahead?
No, keep this.
You like
I
this?
kind of like it.
Like this just sort of random conversation.
All right, Miller, where are we?
We are on my ship.
What's it named?
This is the Defiant, which is the first ship that you have. I'm not showing off my later ship that I got later in the game. This is a little earlier on. This is the ship you pretty much start with.
Okay.
You're out to sea and you're wandering around. You have a crew, and you have your party members are on this crew, but so too are there other characters who are sort of more minor characters who are just kind of weird personalities that are on the ship.
Miller, I can't help but notice, before, there was a cat that was following you around.
Yeah.
Now, it is a dog.
Yeah, you have, let's check this out. You've got a little slot in your main character where you can choose a animal companion who comes along and gives you an effect. In this case, this little guy gives me +1 Constitution.
What other pets did you acquire?
I had cats. I had at one point a weird little demon thing.
Uh-oh, what happened? At one point...
No, I have him.
Okay.
It's later on. He's not... This is, again, pretty early in the game.
Can I just
have
say
a pig. Look at this pig,
what?
Chauncey,
Yeah,
right
get
here.
him.
Okay, let's put him out there.
That portrait is very flattering.
Yeah, it's the... It's his dating profile pic.
Yeah, right.
This is back when he was really working out a lot.
So now we've got the pig. Look at that pig following me around.
Look at him go.
Look at him go. So from here, I can interact with my crew members, and I can have little conversations with them. Each one of the party members in the game has unique quests that they bring to the table. If you spend time getting to know them, you can romance them, and you
all
can...
of them?
You know, I think so. I think this is a archipelago of a lot of really free-loving people.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everybody was eager to like have some fun.
Leo's tongue just rolled out like a carpet. It was 4 feet long.
The party members, I think, are pretty fun in this game. There's some interesting personalities and some interesting quest lines that they're going on. And I had fun getting to know them. Some of them are carryover characters from the first game, but I think they do a pretty good job of helping you to understand what you need to do, what you need to understand about them, even if you didn't play the first game.
So I couldn't help but notice, Miller, that loading screen.
Yeah.
You got a giant octopus. What's going on there? Is that a thing that you see in the game, or is it false advertising?
There's all sorts of creatures in the game. I did not
you're PRing me.
I did not personally fight that giant kraken. But I think it was because of certain choices that I made that I didn't end up fighting them.
Oh, you chose I don't want to fight the kraken?
I don't know. Well, again, I don't want to spoil stuff, but there are all sorts of weird like sea monsters and things like that, and dragons that are out here that you can run into, and in many cases there's options for whether you fight them or you converse with them.
Did you romance the kraken, Miller?
I might have romanced the kraken.
Okay.
But here, check this out. You asked about this before, Jeff. This is my ship that I've got set up. Again, this is kind of the beginning ship, so it only has like 4 spots for cannons, and it doesn't have a lot of crew members. But you're actually choosing things like, okay, well, this is my navigator, and this is my cook, and this is my surgeon. I've got some deckhands. I've got the cannoneers. And as you continue to upgrade your ship, you do things like, well, I'm going to get a better hull, and I'm going to get better sails and a better anchor, and slowly but surely build yourself up so that you're ready to really do some damage when you get into ship fights.
Right. Can we see a ship fight?
Yeah. So let's float around a little bit and see if we can find somebody to attack.
This is very silly looking. I'm sorry.
This is just the.
It's not where the game shines. Let's just say that particular view.
Right.
Oh boy.
So every once in a while I'm out at sea, I just got a message from a parrot dropped off a message from me from the queen of the native culture here, the Hoana. And so that gives me a new sort of thing with the quest line that I can pursue. A lot of the game, if I pull up the map here, you can kind of see this is early on in the game. I've just gone to a few places. Nekataka is a really big city you get to explore that has a whole bunch of dedicated quest lines to it all by itself. Up here we have the Ashen Maw, which is one of the next steps in my in the main campaign that I could go explore. But I can go to all sorts of places.
It turns on a dime.
It does. And as I go, it reveals back the sort of fog of war, and I start to find, other islands that are out here that might be worthy of exploring and going into and seeing what I can find there. So here's an island that I've come to, and it's got a little port spot here, so I can stop here and then go up and go to particular sites here where there'll be encounters.
That sounds better, the forest instead of the crypt. I think you've made the right decision.
I think probably so. Sometimes these are just straight up fights. You show up someplace and there's a fight. Sometimes it's a sort of skill-based encounter. Right there, I did a skill-based encounter. I failed at searching, so I'm just going to examine the altar. I don't know as much about it as maybe I would like. And so, well, that was that. And I can't figure out anything else about it. Maybe I could come back with higher skills in doing that search, and I'd be in a better shape.
What's
that looks
sparkly
intriguing.
thing?
Oh, it's some fruit.
Nice.
All right. You do have to... Things like fresh fruit are especially valuable, though, because I've got to keep my crew fed and free of thirst.
Yeah, I saw the morale indicator. Depending, you had a low end,
So
water was
out.
a problem.
Yeah, so if I lose all the water, morale will go down, and then my crew will start to die. Right now, morale is pretty good at 67, so I actually get bonus experience. For it being pretty good. You
say 67 out of 100 is pretty good, Miller?
It's pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. Listen, it's hard to run a pirate crew, my friend.
Optimist. I would get me off this boat.
But you can kind of continue to explore, and there's lots of opportunities to actually pursue specific bounties. I'm taking us to a place where I think there's a decent chance that there's just going to be a fight. It's like actually the
same map.
This actually has the name of the place. It's Magrin is what it's spelling out.
Oh,
that's fun.
But I have a feel. Yeah, so this ship's gonna come attack me. That's why I brought us up here, is because I knew this was a sort of static encounter here, and I'm pretty sure I'm too early in the game for this to be a reasonable fight. I'm pretty sure these guys are going to destroy me because it's a crew of fire giants.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
This video is going to have to end sooner or later, Miller, so I think this is a great place. If we fail,
either way, it's going to be okay, right?
What's going on here with this chain?
So this is this whole little system they've built that is the ship-to-ship combat thing. It's kind of a little mini game that you play. You can make the choice to sort of just charge your enemy, take a bunch of hits to your crew and your ship that's going to get repaired, but then get up there and just have a normal isometric fight with them. But alternately, you can do this little ship mini battle thing and see how things go. So you're controlling how fast you try to approach the enemy. You're controlling when you turn so that you can fire your cannons. So right now I'm trying to get us to a little closer because I'm at 500 meters away, and my cannons probably aren't going to do super well at this range. And so we get a kind of a narrative component here to the way that the ship battles unfold. They're trying to get closer to me as well. They're going to just come attack me. But let's turn to port. And you can see down in the middle bottom my orientation with the attacking ship. And now I can fire because I've turned, and they're over to my starboard. So let's fire the starboard cannons. Should we shoot cannonballs at them? Or chain shot in order to hurt their sails?
I would say chain shot.
Or grape shot to try to hurt their crew.
Can you shoot all of them?
I can't shoot all of them.
All right, Leo, I can't pick one. Leo, what's it going to be, buddy?
It's got to be chain shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it too.
There we go. I'm still pretty far away, so and again, this ship is probably better than my ship. So we'll see how it goes. I did some damage to their sails, so that's not so bad.
The 14 out of how many?
So over here you can see their ammunition, their hull health, their sail health, which is actually now pretty low.
Ruined their day.
And there's only 5 of them, which you'd think would be fine, except they're all fire giants, so they're probably going to be trouble.
See what kind of swimmers they are.
We'll see. So let's do this and kind of turn all the way around.
This is a very complicated choose your own adventure book.
Right?
You have a lot of pages.
How familiar were you with all these terms going into it? Did you know what prepare to jibe meant?
I figured it out. That was one that I had to kind of take some guesswork at.
Well, that
but
was
I
the Dark
think
Souls
most people know
tagline.
about like starboard and port, don't they?
Yeah, it's a direction.
Yeah, sure it is. Oh, miss. That's not good. That's not good, guys. But this whole ship-to-ship battle thing is pretty fun. It's maybe can get a little bit repetitive, but it's peppered throughout the game. You're not doing these constantly.
Okay.
It's more that you're just slowly but surely making your way through the story, and from time to time, there's reasons to go chase a bounty.
Okay.
And you can get a good bit of money for doing those bounties and for doing the ship missions.
Miller, is it one-on-one primarily, or are there ever times you're taking on a whole fleet?
All the encounters that I ended up in were just sort of like one-on-one situations.
Seems like that would go on forever, right?
So now they're getting real close.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. What should we do? Well, let's just keep going. We're just gonna go on.
Oh, no.
Towards them, and you'll see the way this sort of transitions into a.
Game over
my
screen?
crew member into game over screen. Ramming speed.
Oh, my lord.
Hell yes.
Those are not, like, to scale, those icons, right?
No.
You're significantly smaller
I
otherwise.
think that's probably true. But the game does have an option that I believe is set right now on the difficulty to balance things to your current level. So it's possible that the fire giants won't be as impossible as I think they might be.
Okay. We'll find out in a second,
We'll
though.
find out here in a second.
You built, like, a little staircase and everything. That's nice.
I know. The battle stopped for a while for us to work with them to build
Oh, that poor pig.
the stairway. The pig might be in trouble after this all ends. But, you...
Oh, dear. This was...
It doesn't...
Why did you
doesn't
follow
look great.
any of our advice?
Like my main
should've
character's
been-
already dead.
Grape shot.
Oh, he came back, so that's good.
Grape shot.
I said grape shot, Miller.
So as we watch my party slowly get murdered here,
Yeah.
I'll just say as an overview that Pillars of Eternity 2 is a really great traditional isometric RPG. It feels fresh because of the setting, right? Because you got this whole kind of pirate vibe thing going on with the game. The sailing the high seas and the cultures that you encounter and all that kind of stuff feels different from that classic isometric, like I'm wandering through the fantasy forest and meeting the elves and the dwarves, and there's less of that and more of a sort of distinct feel. However, the actual combat and the way you're upgrading your characters, all of that stuff, like all of these kinds of things of like, oh, okay, well, I've got this armor, and then I'm going to get this better armor, and I'm going to upgrade that, and I'm going to enchant these weapons. There's that depth that I think classic RPG folks want to see. And it's a neat story that there's this constant sense of the threat of this gigantic skyscraper-sized god who's walking across the island chain that's always on the mind of everybody that you encounter. And so that maintains a sort of tension throughout the storytelling that I like. I think the people who might be disappointed in Pillars of Eternity 2 are folks that have maybe gotten used to what they've seen in games like Torment, Tides of Numenera, or Divinity, Original Sin 2, which both of those games really innovated pretty dramatically in one way or another with the way that the storytelling worked and the way their systems worked and all that kind of stuff. This is going to feel a lot like some of those old games like Baldur's Gate and that kind of thing. But I think for some fans, that's exactly what they're looking for. And so even though here we've gotten to a game over screen, I think there's lots of fun things to look forward to in Pillars of Eternity 2. And I'd encourage people, even if you didn't check out the first game, I think this is a really good one that has its own unique kind of sail the high seas flavor to it that might make it worthwhile.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miller, for showing us the game. And Leo,
I have a pirate joke I thought of earlier. If you want to hear it.
Really?
I insist on it.
What's the most important department in a pirate ship?
I don't know.
PR.
Well, with that, everybody,
thanks for
I guess we'll
watching.
see you later.
Bye.